when people need to sit down and consider the magnitude of their decisions. Sitting there, like I said, I told you I watched that video of the gentleman from the CFL going up to Inuit country in Canada, and that had a very profound effect on me. With the young girl that was talking and the older lady that was talking about their generations that have survived up there. And it's not thriving, it's surviving. Okay? Just trust me. There's a youth center, whatever, mold got in it and it got real bad and it just had trouble. And that's because they make them out of cheap materials. And, they do things piss poor. I mean, if you're going to build something up there, build it to last. Make sure it can withstand the rigors of the weather thing and make sure it's good for the people that are up there. But then, if we have things we need to do up there, and people need families, and they need camaraderie, and they need companionship and affection. And if there's things we need to do up there, and people want to go up there because they enjoy that kind of isolation, that kind of, there's a beauty and a solace to it, and a solitude to it that some people enjoy. Not all people do, but they could always just migrate away and then go back to visit. But like I said with the thing with the Canadian Football League, when I went and looked at that thing, I was like, still do the club teams and then have people move during the week, taking their families with them. If you put a team up in Anchorage, take a boat and make the boat, which used to be a cruise liner for economics, make it a thing for family things to get together. And we're not raiding, looting, and pillaging. We're doing things that are healthy with exercise. We're not trying to hurt each other. We're engaging each other. We're exchanging and loving, like a lot like Davis and the other gentleman were doing, about the, you can come and play in Montreal. And you had the kids out there and they were having fun, and that shows that, I can hunt if I need to, that I can do crops, that I can do the things that are required over thousands of years to have a wife and children, And so when you sit and look at it, things have radically changed, and that's not bad, like Queen Elizabeth had talked about. Things have gotten better over the years. In a lot of ways, they have. Okay, we have better forms of communication, better ways of understanding how to be civil and intelligent. A lot of ways things have gotten better in the fact that we can, but that was, Haile Selassie was a very influential and important human being. Okay, he was the Messiah. And people met him and he changed their lives. Okay, he radically changed people's lives. Krishnamurti was very similar. Suzuki was very similar. They would meet people and radically change their lives. And what selfish people would do is, would threaten, corrupt, kill, manipulate. And they'll tell like they did me, run you over in the parking lot of Best Buy. You'll never be able to win. You'll never. I'm not trying to win. Well, we'll always be in charge. You're not in charge. You can't even control your own genitalia. And so, you got to understand when you make decisions, okay, and you do things. You're a lot of you typically are brain chemical addicts, and it's understandable because of the acceptance of egotistical manipulation and expression and conflict and selfishness. Look at me, I'm so great, I'm an icon, all that bullshit, right? And that's the part that makes me laugh, and that's why I reiterate a lot, because we're correcting quantum computing and stuff like that. And, I can't overemphasize, I spent my whole life, quote, underachieving in conflict to fit in so I could love and be loved. Yeah. And they knew that when they go to Sierra Vista, because this guy is so funny. The gentleman from the psychology department of the University of Chicago, you're the most intelligent person I've ever talked to. And it's like, well, yeah, you led the psychology department at the University of Chicago for 30 years. I understand that. You've talked to a lot of egomaniacs who think they're brilliant. You meet somebody that's humble, the most intelligent person I've ever met. Yeah, I totally relate. I can understand. I wasn't trying to impress him. I was just trying to share with him things that I understood that were beautiful. When I read Socrates, when I read Plato, when I read, and then I communicate people in prayer. And Pascal especially. I really enjoy. I love Pascal. Obviously, but appreciate Pascal. And so when you get there, people like with the thing I watched. They had a movie on Saladin, and there's Saladin. There's different ways a lot of us will say it or spell it depending on the culture. I see it as Saladin. A lot of people it's Salahuddin. Depending on the language and the culture. He doesn't get upset. No. There's lots of different languages and cultures to express people's names and how you say things, like Raphael and Ralph. And, Jesus, you don't say Jesus. There's no J sound in Hebrew. Okay? Jesus, everybody calls him Jesus, right? But it's not, but he, we're like that. We're not, I'm uptight, you're not saying it right. Oh, sod off, or seriously. Affection, people are affectionately, Jesus, affectionately communicates with people. He doesn't correct them. Excuse me, there's no J sound in the Hebrew. He doesn't do that. He just talks. What can I do? I help you. He helps people through. He's absolutely beautiful. No, he's not God. He is not God. Okay, he never claims to be Jehovah. He is not Caesar. He is not Pharaoh. He is not Ramses. He's not Nebuchadnezzar. He is the gracious good shepherd. He is the humble, faithful, immaculate faith Lord. He is a perfect man, but he's not God. He's beautiful. He's absolutely gorgeous. People turn him into God. Well, he's God, and you're not as good as he is. Just like, okay, I'm better than you are. And I say he's the Father that's gives us perfect faith in a perfect God. Right? And you say he's God, but okay. When someone is more valid in their faith in God and their belief in the Lord, okay, his communication, his perception, his understanding of the Lord is superior to yours. Okay? If you need a mythological superhero to save you from yourself, your belief in the Lord is flawed and your faith in God is flawed. And so you need to seek more wisdom of humility and perfection in order to have a better relationship with Jesus Christ and better faith in God. Okay. Well, Saladin, he's the best. He's awesome. I love him so much. But he's right, and it's true. He goes, how many people did he have to stand up and stop from being murdered and killed with the Jesus Christ cross coming from Europe? Okay, like my relatives. With the cross of Jesus on a shield, murdering in Jesus' name. And when the Crusaders came and took over Jerusalem, they threw everybody else out and made it just for them. And then when Saladin ran those barbarians out, everybody got to keep worship in Jerusalem. The Jews, the Muslims, the Christians. The Christians were welcome. That's what was so horrible. The Christians were welcome to come keep worship in Jerusalem, and then they would come in a large horde and throw everybody else out and say, you all can't keep worship here. It's like, wait a minute. We let you in here to keep worship, and then you betray our righteousness with your self-righteousness. That was horrible. What the, quote, Holy Crusaders did to Lord Saladin during the... He was wonderful. He's beautiful. He's everything like, all the beautiful things and all the love you get out of King David, out of Moses, out of Daniel, out of Joseph, Malachi. And Jesus is like them. People that turn Jesus into a god are Roman and do not understand faith and omniscience. They turn God into a possessive pronoun in the first person. They can't explain what they believe in. They can't explain things. They cannot explain anything. And then there's always these mysteries, these secrets. There is no secrets to the Bible. There is no secrets to faith. Okay? It's pragmatic. It's life eternal. Truth is life eternal and grace is infinite. Okay? Share, care, give in accordance to needs, build to last, Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It's hard thing with the translation and stuff like that because Romans, all fight to win. And then, they'll do unto you what they would, you see what I'm saying? And there is no fight to win. Jesus says, forgive debt and trespass, love one eternal and faithful peace. So that whole do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. Okay? That's if you have faith in God. Okay? And believe in the Lord. If you don't have faith in God and don't believe in the Lord and you've turned it into possessive pronoun mythology and bullshit and stuff, you're on TV all excited about making lots of money. You're a sick human being. You're a threat to your own planet and species. Okay. We can still, I looked at a lot of this stuff and I was like, we can maintain houses and things. When they're built right, we can maintain them and enjoy being healthy together in them and do it in a rational, sane, and loving, compassionate way. There's nothing wrong with tailgating before a football game. All get together, share food. We're no longer sacking the city. We're no longer raping, looting, and pillaging. Okay? But you've got to learn to get your head on straight. Okay? Trust me. Trust me. I was better than all of you. And I quit because you would hurt people to win. You would cheat to win. And I would not do that. My coaches here at Mayfield were horrible. I wouldn't do things, and I would tell them, no, I'm not going to run into that guy. That whole arc thing in the back, I wouldn't do that. I said, no, people do that to me all the time, and I hate it. I will not run under the guy, even if it's in the rules. I'm not going to do it because it's uncouth and it will hurt people. Then they made a rule and said you can't do that because it causes most of the injuries. And I was like, back in 1983 at Mayfield High School, I'm explaining this to Jimmy Oliver and Manny Treviso. No, I won't do it. And I would tell them that I will win and I will do what I can stop, but I will not hurt other people's children for you to win a ball game and make more money. I won't do it. And he got mad. Treviso got mad. He thought I was a self-righteous, pompous, arrogant jerk. It's like, yeah, isn't it good that the Pentagon was monitoring everything and the Mormon Church? It's just amazing that people like Gordon B. Hinckley and Ezra Taft Benson and Russell Nelson didn't sit there and go, no, this guy's the real deal. He's the Messiah. Oh, yeah. We watched horrible things happen and didn't do a damn thing about it because we wanted to be rich and famous and powerful with technology. And he didn't understand that the horrible things were happening because he doesn't have that kind of brain. And then when we explained to him what was happening, he got up without fear to stop it right in the bowels of Fort Huachuca and in the bowels of hell where he lives in Las Cruces. He's absolutely amazing and beautiful. Lord Saladin is proud of him. Jesus is proud of him. Malachi is proud of him. Moses is proud of him. Muhammad is proud of him. Of course they are. And I understand that. And you know what? If I was like them and watching me, I'd be proud of them too. I'm proud of them. I'm proud of Saladin. I'm proud of what he did. And I'm sure he's like, wow, yeah, Earl's proud of me. I'm a good guy. I do good things. He doesn't sit there and say, because I didn't know who he was until after I'd done so many things to perform the apocalypse and redeem the Gospels. And then I'm like, yeah, that's funny because the first time I ever talked to him, he's real hard on me. Like a tough coach. I'm sitting there, Jesus, we're talking to Saladin. Like Lopez did to me with Sun Yat-sen. We're talking to Sun Yat-sen. You feel like that. It's Sun Yat-sen, guys. Okay. It's Lord Saladin. You're talking to him in prayer. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm talking to Jesus. Because I talked to Jesus since I was a kid, so it's comfortable. But when we were talking to Saladin, I was like, we're talking to, who this is? Oh my gosh, Jesus. Like when I met Dennis Johnson in Spokane. Mom, I touched this Dennis Johnson. Right. And you do that when you get certain aspects. I still, Dennis will always be one of my favorite basketball players. And they always did good. Yeah, he had a rough life, and he had a lot of things go that were tough in his life. He has a real good nephew. His brother is very humble. His brother's an amazing athlete. And, it's there's good people in bad situations. Once we're living the Lord's Prayer, we'll have a lot less good people in bad situations. We'll have a lot more people in good situations being able to do good things because we are devoted to faithful love and the righteousness that it begets. Okay, guys, I love you. We'll talk in the morning. Work. Never stop working, even in my sleep. All right, love you guys. Peace.